My name is Faduma Mohamed. I'm a spoken word poet, actor, playwright. I am also a program coordinator at the Passport to Employment program, so I help high school kids get training to get a job. I also am one of the organizers of Rise Edutainment, host of Rise Thursdays, and an autism advocate. I was born in Toronto, Ontario. My mom was from Somalia and my father was born and raised in Ethiopia, and my parents had met in Italy. So a lot of specifically my father's siblings had already been thinking about migrating to Canada. The dream of living elsewhere, like the American dream, wasn't as appealing as the Canadian dream was. Canada just seems like it had more benefits than America did. Growing up, when I was younger, my mom would tell me that I always wanted to be a teacher, which makes sense that I still want to be a teacher. As young as I was like 3 or 4, whenever we'd go to Zeller's, I would like run to like the backpack and school area, and like that was like my little home before I even started going to school. My love for writing, I was convinced at 13, I was like, yeah, by 18, in 5 years, I'm gonna be an author. I was like completely convinced. Did it happen? No. Do I still have that dream? Absolutely. I played around with wanting to be an actor, and I'm so glad that I found a home in all of the little places that I thought as a child I was gonna grow up to be. I'm glad that the dreams don't have to be like this far-fetched dream. When I think about the most challenging situations that has happened to get to where I am today, 2 things kind of come to mind. The first, I think, is definitely like growing up in a poor household, a single mother household. And my youngest brother lives with autism, so having someone who lives on the spectrum in the family, it changes how much money you really have. It's one thing to be poor, but it's another thing when the expenses increase because you need to pay for this and you need to pay for that. I think poverty has a psychological element too, where you grow up almost always thinking that you can't have something. And so this idea of when you think about the things that you want or expect or desire, my automatic reaction as a kid growing up was no, I can't, or no, I don't deserve, or no, I am unable, I can't afford, which leads to my kind of third point of the battle with my mind. I haven't jumped all the hurdles of my mind yet, but I'm in a place in my life right now where I can look fear in the eye and say, I'm not scared of you anymore. The thing that I'm most proud of, for sure, is starting a charity. I always knew that I wanted to give back. Like, I remember very distinctly in high school wanting to figure out, what is gonna be my impact in the world and how am I gonna make this impact? In 2015 to 2016, I started carrying a box every single day, everywhere that I went. So I carried it on the train, I carried it on the bus, on my way to school, on my way to work, hoping that a stranger would come up to me and be like, hey, what's up with the box? And I would get the chance to tell them about my brother who lives with autism, Bilal, and what autism had taught me. So it was a 365-day challenge, and along the journey, I met people on the spectrum, I met parents, I met siblings. I met just so many people who, growing up, I just never would have imagined I could have met. I just really thought it was just me. I just really thought it was just our family. To mark the year anniversary of carrying the box, I started raising money for families. So Black families, people of color, racialized families, Indigenous and poor families who have someone on the spectrum. We started raising money for families to just help them with the extra costs that I know very, very well comes with autism, especially for children, adolescents, or adults who might be severely autistic.
Hi everyone, we're about to surprise our first recipient for the Out the Box Autism fundraiser. Let's see how it goes.
So far we've raised $9,000, and I know it's not a lot of money, but to me, just knowing that I can tell a family, hey, I know exactly what it is that you're going through, and I'm here to help. It's definitely one of my pride and joys. The box that I was carrying for a year actually comes from the play I wrote in Wata Theatre, and it was called Autism. So Autism was about a nonverbal Black autistic savant who just his journey through love, through school, through family, through society. And meanwhile, he ends up falling in love with his neurotypical neighbor, Rain, and they start developing a romantic relationship. Meanwhile, there's a biotechnological corporation called Golden Mind, which has claimed to have found a cure to autism. So the characters kind of move through this reality of a cure to autism. Ultimately, the play is challenging. What does it mean when we seek a cure to autism? What does it mean for people who are currently living with autism? What are we implying about their lives? I think everyone has a thing where they get lost in. Some people get lost in music, some people get lost in painting and art and film. My personal addiction is getting lost in stories, whether it's the stories that other people tell or it's the stories that I'm telling. I think it's the most powerful tool in my personal experience to motivate, to encourage, and to push people to change. Of course, there's RISE too. RISE stands for Reaching Intelligent Souls Everywhere, and it's an arts organization which holds 2 open mic series. And so RISE is incredibly important for me because I was 18 when it first came into my life, 19. I'm 25 now, and it's still a major part of my life. In 5 years, I anticipate, pray, and hope that I'm spiritually free. So I've connected and aligned myself, mind, body, and soul. In 5 years, come on, financially free, let's get it. I really pray and hope that Out the Box is at a point where it's not only providing money to families, but empowering to have their own tools for making money for themselves. I would love to keep writing, and if I see this in 5 years, I want to just tell 30-year-old Fatima, I really hope that wherever you are, that you're successful, and the only success that matters is success with peace. As long as you are at peace, you're straight. I didn't come this far to only come this far. What that quote means to me is I'm really learning when I fall, get up and run, keep running. And if I fall and I can't run, get up and walk. And if I fall and I can't walk, then get up and crawl. I'm getting to the point in my life where I'm like, no is not an answer anymore. You know, failure is not definitive anymore. I'm getting to the point where I'm realizing this journey doesn't end at the fall. I'm climbing. I'm brushing the dirt off my shoulders. Any advice I could give to folks who are coming to Canada? I should first say that this is advice coming from someone who was born and raised in Canada. So I have my own privileges where English wasn't a second language, English was my first language. So whatever ideas you have about Canada, leave it at the door. Just come and experience it for yourself. Try to find people who are like-minded as you are, who think as you are, but don't be afraid of people who might not necessarily think the same way that you do. If you're an artist, don't stop. Keep going, keep creating. I promise you one day, someone, something, somehow it's going to happen where you're going to be content with where your art is. And whether you're an academic or a scholar or an artist, Canada could be a land of opportunity, but you could also face a lot of racism, a lot of sexism, a lot of Islamophobia. All the isms and phobias you could think of, you can find it here. I don't want you to think that it's a heaven or a playground, because it's unfortunately not. But with your help, we can get this place to feel as much as a utopia as possible. My name is Faduma Mohamed, and I didn't come this far to only come this far.
Didn't come this far to only come this far. I never